can ride them, rope them, wrestle, and race them. But at Canada's famed Calgary Stampede, the wildest rodeo event isn't your typical cowboy fair.
It's like having sex after a week, eh? Bingo.
The chuck wagon races turn old-fashioned wagon trains into a high-stakes hell on wheels.
1 second can cost you the championship and the $50,000, and it has done it many times.
With this much horsepower hurling around the track, winning takes risking it all.
You're gambling with your life every moment you're out there.
At Stampede Park in Calgary, Canada, it's T-minus 48 hours and counting before the start of one of the world's biggest outdoor rodeos. For nearly 90 years, the Calgary Stampede has been celebrating the spirit of the Wild West, unlike any event of its kind.
Have a good afternoon, Lee. Yep, thank you for everything.
Winston Bruce is the rodeo manager, who is better known as the Rodeo Boss.
We have over 500 cowboys and cowgirls in 12 events here on Stampede Park throughout the 10 days of rodeo.
It's their last day of freedom on Navajo.
While preparations are underway, Jason Glass is getting ready to hit the road for what many consider the highlight of the Stampede.
It'll be a little warm in there today. Well, we train all year long to get these horses how we want them. You know, that's our lives. It's definitely my life. You know, the whole year is focused on these 10 days. So, you know, this is what it's all about.
At age 30, Jason's the current world champion of an unusual sport called chuck wagon racing. Think about chariot racing, but with a Western twist.
I'm a 4th generation chuck wagon driver. You know, it started off back with my great grandfather, I guess, Tom Lauder. He started racing in 1923 was the first chuck wagon race at the Calgary Stampede. So he raced then, and then my grandfather Ronnie Glass, my father Tom Glass, and now myself. So we've been racing for some 75 years. I'm kind of an adrenaline junkie. I love the excitement of it, the adventure, the thrill, you know, the speed. And the biggest thing to me is the horses, you know. If it wasn't for the horses, I wouldn't be doing it, you know.
Jason heads south through Canada's wide open plains to Calgary, a modern bustling oil town in the province of Alberta. Each year, the city goes cowboy crazy with a tradition that dates back to 1912. It all began with an American trick roper and promoter named Guy Wiedeck.
Guy Wiedeck, cowboy, entrepreneur, spent a lot of time in New York City. He came to Calgary, got off the train, and so he found 4 local ranchers that had a lot of vision. They did bankroll him $25,000 apiece, $100,000, and in 1912, that had to be by far, far the biggest stampede in the world. Guy Wiedeck, with his dreams, put it together, and it still lives today.
Wiedeck wanted to add more excitement to the Stampede. So he turned to the old home on the range, the chuck wagon. During the late 1800s, cowboys would spend months rounding up cattle and traveling on long trail drives. Their rolling kitchens, the chuck wagons, became the center of life on the open range, and a way to have a little fun.
Chuck wagon racing started many years before the Calgary Stampede. Each group of cowboys would have a race to town so that whoever got there first got a free drink. Guy Wiedeck was able to take that real ranch event and put it onto the racetrack and create what we call, and he called, the chuck wagon racing.
Over the years, chuck wagon racing proved to be a dangerous, high-risk sport, at times even deadly. In 1999, driver Bill McEwen lost his life after two wagons collided, setting off a chain reaction. There have been at least 7 fatalities since professional racing began.
The danger comes from the speed of the event. It's like stock car racing. It's the stock car racing of rodeo, chuck wagon racing. We've lost some really, really great cowboys.
And it's not just cowboys. The horses run the risk of injury too.
Uh-oh.
Every accident is a painful reminder of the dangers on the track.
Sean, you want to pull the roll tide out of there?
With 12 years of professional racing under his belt, Jason knows all about those dangers.
Quad, Nova. Hey.
This year, he's up against some tough competition.
He's quite excitable because he's probably getting back to a racing environment.
Kelly Sutherland began racing more than 30 years ago. At 49, he's an 8-time world champion, and he's won the Stampede 8 times also.
I think the sport is very unique and extremely dangerous, you know, as far as for competitors. I think it's kind of like bull riding. It's not a matter of if you're going to get hurt, it's a matter of when and how bad. That's the way I view it if you stay in as long as I have.
Kelly and Jason will compete against 34 other drivers in their bid to take home the $50,000 grand prize. But before they do, their wagons, like race cars, have to pass an official inspection.
Every wagon is the same as far as length and width and size.
3218.
Can't be any less, it can be more.
And while they don't look much like the old chuck wagons, remember, these were once the cowboy's kitchen.
Oh, here's the stove.
So they race with reminders of the past.
This is what they call a stove. It's just 2 rubber baskets put together. It probably weighs, what, 10 pounds? They used to weigh 40. 1,325 pounds.
11 foot. 5 foot 6 pounds. Holy gosh.
1,392.
Just let it settle down a minute.
It's about 20 pounds over, eh? So that's about right. I can change that fly and make it a little wider. It's probably better for me to have it a little wider anyways.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Run fast. Keep it slow.
Jason's wagon passes the test. But other drivers make last-minute changes before the opening race.
Welcome to the Calgary Stampede!
$20, please. Howdy. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Howdy.
Well, this is the start of the gravy train right here, eh? First day of the Calgary Stampede. This is where you make or break the summer. You make all the money in the world here.
Welcome to the greatest outdoor show on earth, the Calgary Stampede! Let's go get you some money!
While the rodeo gets underway, Jason gives his horses one last meal before the first race. His dedicated team includes his 76-year-old grandmother, Iris. She's been a rodeo regular for most of her life.
Oh, this is wonderful. Like, it's all like a big, big family, and we all, good morning, and somebody wants to borrow something, they run from barn to barn. It's just like a big family here at the barn. But when they go over there to that racetrack with their wagons, nobody's their friend. They're going to outrun them.
Iris has another grandson, 22-year-old Colt Cosgrave, who is driving in the Stampede for the very first time.
Well, the butterflies haven't started going yet, but yeah, this is what a guy works for well, I've worked for 4 years now. I've been on the tour and trying to make it in here, and well, it's finally come true, so hopefully we can have a nice, good, clean night and show them what we come with.
Competing here along with his cousin Jason means a lot to Colt. His father, Richard Cosgrave, was also a champion chuck wagon racer, but in 1993, he was killed in the last race of the season. For Iris, losing her son-in-law wasn't the only tragedy.
I had another boy, Rod. This is very sad, but Rod was riding behind his dad in 1971, and a wagon wrecked in front of him, and his horse hit it, and he was killed, 18 years old. There has been terrible sad times, but the good times have outdid the bad ones.
Going to the races.
Welcome to the first night of the world-famous GMC Chuck Wagon races, the Rangeland Derby. To minimize the danger of this rugged sport, Chuck Wagon rules are strict and they are rigidly enforced.
The race is divided into 9 heats, with 4 chuck wagons racing at a time. Joe Carberry's been the trackside announcer for nearly 40 years and knows the rules better than most.
A chuck wagon race starts with the drivers coming out into the infield. There are 4 barrels put up there. That is the starting position. The wagons are drawn by 4 thoroughbred horses, and they are assisted by 4 mounted outriders. The outriders have a big job to do and a very dangerous job.
Each team has 1 outrider that stays in front, holding the horses steady. The other 3 go behind the wagon.
One of them is referred to as the stove thrower, and that's his job. 2 other outriders in behind the wagon, they are called the peg men. They throw the tent pegs in the back of the wagon after the wagon starts moving. And believe me, it's moving. Now, the horn sounds, the race is on, and they have to go around those barrels and make a figure 8 turn. And that's a very, very delicate thing to do.
As the wagons make their turn, the outriders mount their horses and race behind.
Now, of course, it's a horse race, so timing is very important. But the ultimate decision probably will depend on how many penalties you pick up.
Knocking over a barrel costs 5 seconds. If the outrider does it, it's 2.
And then the race is on around the 5/8 mile track. It's a dangerous sport, no doubt about it.
As they race towards the finish line, all the outriders have to be within 150 feet of the wagons, or they're considered late. That's a 1-second penalty.
1 second can cost you the championship and the $50,000, and it has done it many times.
Jason ends up penalty-free and ranks 2nd by the end of the evening,
King Kelly.
just behind Kelly Southern.
Caution to the wind.
Floyd all the way around.
And Jason's cousin Colt didn't do too bad either. He's in the top 20.
We're going to do that every night.
But there are still 9 nights left to go.
Oh, she knocks that first barrel down.
Over the next 4 days, the rodeo brings plenty of thrills.
He is doing it.
And each night, come rain or shine, so do the chuck wagons.
Look at the finish. Here's the wire.
After 5 days of racing, the pressure is on.
This is day 6. We're halfway through the stampede at now. Jason Glass and myself are in the crying holes. We're sitting 5th and 6th, and we've got 4 runs to make the final 4. There's no doubt me and Jason have to gamble. We have to gamble more than the guys that are in there.
Kelly Sutherland, he's been keeping some horses in the barn, so he's going to be tough down the stretch.
Jason's lost his voice from shouting so much, but he hasn't lost his drive to win.
Just got to let my horses work. Once you start second guessing them and being a little too careful, then you get yourself in trouble.
What was your name again?
Jason's cousin Colt is ranked 18th in the middle of the pack.
I'm kind of sitting on the bubble for being in there and being out, so I'm just going to throw it at him if we take a barrel or penalties or whatever, but we're just going for broke.
With everyone now feeling the heat, the chance of making mistakes is even greater. Mistakes that could spell disaster.
There's some pressure there. I put more pressure on myself, I think, than than anyone else. So it's just a matter of keeping my head straight and going out there and doing what I got to do.
To see just what Jason has to do to win, he's going to wear a tiny camera hidden in a pair of eyeglasses. Now we'll see exactly what he sees.
All right, they're moving into possession. The number 3 barrel of famous Glass family, Jason Glass, High River. 11th consecutive year, 5th place in the standings. All right, this should be quite a race. Wow.
Whoa, guys, whoa, 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 whoa.
Good-looking start here. Bert Troto off 1, Jimmy Knight off 2. And Jason Glass off number 3. Outraces them all out of the infield. What a blast by Jason Glass. Into the turn, and he did it off the top number 3 barrel. The checkerboard wagon of the Glass family. Watch this one unfold. Down the backstretch they go. But it's still Jason Glass. A quarter of a mile to go. He can hear the thundering hooves in behind him, and he needs some outriders. Down the stretch, look at this now. Jason Glass hanging on. Bert Truex hold right on his tail. Jason Glass wins it.
Tonight's win puts Jason solidly into 2nd place.
Good, they worked great. Probably the nicest turn I made all year. Just everything stood and started. Perfect.
Oh, they started simply beautiful, and I never seen a team turn any faster and nicer in my life. Oh, it was beautiful.
Good-looking start.
And Kelly moves into 4th.
King for the rail, but the King's got too much horsepower.
They worked perfect for a change, eh? It was just unbelievable.
Kelly and Jason are both in the top 4. But can they keep up the pace? Over the next 3 days, the action in the arena boils down to this. Only the lucky few will make it to the final showdown. At the barns, the chuck wagon racers are gearing up for their last run before the Sunday night final.
I go for broke, like in the final. And a lot of guys, if they just make the final the first time, it's just so much pressure. It was for me.
But tonight's a big night, too, because whoever scores the fastest time over the last 9 days wins a brand new truck and a trophy. Although Colt is now in 25th place and out of the running, his cousin Jason is still sitting in the number 2 spot and has a real shot at it. Jason's father, Tom Glass, is a champion chuck wagon driver who knows just what it takes to win.
We're in the same horse race.
I'm proud of him, you know. I'm already proud of him, just the way he goes. And win or lose, you know, I will be. People used to say, well, how do you feel? The kid's going to outrun you, you know, when we race together. And I said, I feel great. And now he is the best driver in the world last year. And I'm proud of that. And there'd be nobody prouder here than me.
We got to go fast. We to make up a second half. So if everything clicks and it works like it's possible, we got a shot at her.
All right, the wagons have had their practice in the barrels. The outrider's getting set. Jason Glass is in 2nd place in the standings going into this one tonight. All important.
Whoa, whoa, Jake, whoa!
The hole they rope. Jason Glass looks quick off his number 2. Jimmy Knight's got 10 poles dragging. Here they come out. Jason Glass has got the Shaw GMC outfit. Bert Grotto was right on the outside of Jason Glass. Those two will do it, I'll tell you down the stretch. They are a couple of great veterans. What a performance. He's down the backstretch, and he's got them full out. He means business. Jason turns them loose now. Wide open. Clear by a length and a half. Bert Grotto desperately trying to close out. Jason Glass
this race. Wire to wire. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our best aggregate time, the driver, Jason Glass.
Tonight, we remember Richard Cosgrave. In recognition of Richard's achievements at the Rangeland Derby, we are honored to present the Richard Cosgrave Memorial Trophy.
Richard Cosgrave is Jason's uncle, who died racing 8 years ago.
Richard Cosgrave, his buddy, my mother, my grandma. Thank you, everybody. If I could win the lottery and win 10 million, it wouldn't be as much as this.
Although the trophy means everything to Jason, there's still one more night of racing and one more chance to win the $50,000 top prize.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final night of the world-famous chuck wagon races, the Rangeland Derby. Very pivotal, these 4 drivers.
After 9 grueling days of competition, Jason and Kelly are among the top 4 drivers, going head-to-head in the dash for cash.
We got to go for it, so no more holding back, you know. Can't be safe, can't do nothing, just got to go for it.
We are going to go for broke. We get lucky, we're going to win it. I think there's 3 key things that make a chuck wagon driver a champion. The first one is horsepower, and that's 50% of the equation. The second most important thing, and I say it's 25% of the equation, is skill. And the last most important thing that's got to follow you is 25% of it's luck. I mean, it's lady luck, and if she's not riding with you, I don't care how good you are, you're out, you're gone, you're toast, eh?
Okay, blow the horn. Hurry. Hurry.
Round the barrels, here they come. Look at the start. Out they go. King Kelly trying to get the front end. Out in front, there he goes. He swings off number 3. Grabs the lead. Jason Glass, Shaw GMC is right in behind him. Then there's a gap of a length and a half. Jerry Brender clear by 1 over Jason Glass. Number 3 turn. The King still showing the way. Jason Glass right on his hind end. He'll have to swing to the outside, make his charge at the head of the lane, and that's what he do. Here comes
Kelly leads the race until the final turn, when Jason pours on everything he's got.
Look at the finish. Jason Glass is closing out. Deep stretch. Kelly trying to hold on. The King Kelly. It's Jason Glass.
While it looks like Jason's the winner, in chuck wagon racing, anything can happen. One of Jason's outriders was late crossing the finish line,
What a race.
costing him a 1-second penalty and crowning Kelly the victor.
76 years old, right?
Tonight, Lady Luck is shining on Kelly.
That's unbelievable. Feels so good to win, you know. It feels so bad to lose, and it's so good to win. That's just life.
But Jason knows he's lucky too.
You got to have luck on your side. You build luck yourself. You know, luck comes with hard work, and you know, everyone says how lucky Kelly is, but he works hard and he gets the job done, and the luck follows him. I plan on getting stronger every year. You know, I'm not going to slow down. I'm not going to weaken. You know, it's you can in this sport. As soon as you take a breath, someone else gets better. So you got to keep carrying on.
And that's what makes a true chuck wagon champion.